Hey, how you doing there again, folks? Me again, of course, Brandon Wenzel. Come back at you, another offering off my sampler platter. Yes, indeed, folks, sampler V series V's. I've been doing for a little while. I go over there, try out food and drink items. I eat stuff, I drink stuff. Then, folks, I'm gonna talk about stuff. I'm gonna let you know all that you need to know about hopefully delicious stuff. That time I'm doing this, folks, I'm not gonna lie. I just had a bowl of cheesy, spicy ramen, but I'm still a little bit hungry. But we'll get to that. Folks, it's a super simple format. I'm going to go over there and try out food and or drink items for you. Whilst I'm doing so, I'm yammering about it for a bit. Whilst I'm doing all that, I am inside my back room today, which means we get, boom, Peter Can Thunderbolt poster behind me. Ooh, Peter Can Thunderbolt poster. Whilst I'm doing all that, folks, I am doing something else. What is it, though? Happens to be, I'm just saying, I'm wearing a super cool shirt. Folks, when I wear super cool shirts, I always like to highlight the super cool shirt. What super cool shirt am I wearing for you today, though? Excuse me? It happens to be my, boom, my Chapter Black Yu Yu Hakusho shirt. Yay, Chapter Black Yu Yu Hakusho shirt. Excuse me, got a little bit of the hiccups. But what is the Chapter Black Yu Yu Hakusho shirt? Well, Yu Yu Hakusho is kind of at this point, a little bit of an older anime. It's a little bit younger than I am, but came out in the early 90s. I got into it in like the either late 90s or very early 2000s. Around that time, that's when it made its way over to like Cartoon Network and Toonami and all that stuff back in the day. And I really liked it. I just thought it was really great. Chapter Black is actually one of the sagas within it. And it's honestly, I kind of feel like it's the last really good saga because the last final saga is a little bit shaky. But I still really like the series overall and always happy to rep it on a shirt. But anyway, what am I trying for your day, folks? What are we doing here? Spicy, cheesy ramen, eh? Yes, indeed, folks. I just got through reviewing some like quattro cheese ramen from Buldak, and they're known for their spicy ramens and stuff. And go watch that review if you're interested. But like I said, I was a little bit hungry afterwards. I knew I didn't want like a big bowl of something. I just wanted something a little bit more subdued. So I was looking through my cupboard, and turns out I had something I could review. Happens to be my boom. It is from apparently Mama. I guess it's Mama Cup. Oriental style instant noodles. This is their shrimp tom yum flavor instant noodles. Okie doke. I'm super into this, and I guess it's actually a product of Thailand, which that makes me happy. If you're unfamiliar with tom yum soup, it is I love it. I don't like it quite as much as I like tom kha. Tom kha is like one of my favorite soups ever, but tom yum soup is still really, really good. And it's like a Thai soup. It's very distinct in its flavors. I'm hopeful that some of that will be recreated here, but we'll give it a go. And I'm not using my chopsticks because it came with a little fork. Look at the little adorable fork. And let's go ahead, kind of mix it up a little bit. And by the way, what with this being a review, I know it's Tom Young or whatever, this is going to end up on my ramen reviews playlist, which is a playlist of just like sort of like instant food type of stuff that I do. It's not always ramen. Sometimes it's variations and other stuff. So, but let's get that's very hot. Let's get a thing for the thing, and let's try to get like a noodle pull, and we'll do this, and we'll go ha 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 ha. Sure, let's give it a go. Okay. There's a little something there. Reminds me of Tom Yum soup. Tom Yum soup, it has like kind of a almost citrusy kind of flavor. And there's a little bit of that here. Maybe a little heat. This is one of those ones where I had 2 packets worth of stuff to put in. So like, I'm hopeful that the flavor will excite me and come through. The noodles are kind of a little bit thinner than sort of like, your Maruchans or what have you, but nothing against, nothing against that. It definitely has the basic fragrance of a Tom Yum, for sure. And I mean, realistically, obviously it's an instant noodle thing. I'm not expecting it to perfectly recreate the experience. Maybe one day. I wouldn't be surprised if I lived long enough to see that. But at the moment, it's not the case. And that's fine. We're just trying to get an approximation. And I mean, for what it is, like, it's tasty. The noodles are fine. I wouldn't say they're like exceptional, but they're not bad or anything. And yeah, it's very fragrant. Has kind of a herby vibe to it. Like I said, you do get a little bit of that almost citrusy kind of vibe that you would get from like a tom yum soup. And then of course it has like the little tiny shrimps that realistically add very little to the whole thing. Uh, Typically when I get tom yum soup, I want to say I usually order it with chicken, but part of that's just because chicken is like the cheapest ingredient. Seafood tends to be more expensive. But I'm not sure how it's like traditionally prepared, off the top of my head anyway. Plus, whenever I have it, it always makes me think of the movie Tom Yum Goong, starring Tony Jaa, also known as the Protector over here in America, because for some reason we are the dumbest people in the world when it comes to renaming shit. No, that's actually pretty damn tasty. Let me try to get just some of the broth. Yeah, again, got very fragrant, kind of citrusy. Has a little heat to it, not a lot. Kind of goes to the back of your throat a little bit, tickles it a bit. That's not bad, honestly. I mean, realistically, when you're doing, when you're eating these things, most of what the flavor that you're getting from is from the broth. Unless you get one of those ones like the one that I just had from Buldak, where it really kind of becomes like more creamy in structure, so it really coats the noodles. The noodles with this, I mean, they're going to carry some of the flavor from the tom yum, but like it's going to be pretty minuscule compared to the actual broth itself. But it's not bad for what it is. However, two questions have to be asked. Would I get it again? Would I recommend it? I have to go with yes and yes in this regard. I think that for myself personally, I like these like instant ramen things and then cup noodle stuff. They're nice for me as somebody who I'm not typically the type of person who is going to go through all the bullshit of cooking. I eat out a lot, and I do cook a little bit here and there. Really, I need to get back into it. I'm not even terrible at it. It's just such a pain in the ass. Mind you, I'm not great at it either. But so having like a variety of these type of things around is kind of nice because it gives me a few different options. I mean, I can always default to something like Maruchan or cup noodles for just basic stuff, but it's nice to have, And I think that this fits in there. And as somebody who really likes Thai food and really likes tom yum soup, um, it's something that I can get down with. It's not anything close to the level of depth or character that proper tom yum soup has, but it kind of hits a little bit. It does what it's supposed to do, and I'm not mad at it. It's tasty. I like what it's offering, and yeah, I can get down with that. Now, if I'm recommending it, this is one of those ones where I think the only thing that potentially keeps it away from people potentially is just the unfamiliarity. If you live in America, like Thai food has definitely become much more available during the course of my life. I mean, I remember being in my 20s or so, early 20s. It was pretty rare to find a Thai food place. Now there's like multiple spots. It's so at least in my neck of the woods. But I do still think that there's those people who are going to see that and think, I don't know, I've never had. But I would go over there and say flat out, if that's your issue with it, just give it a go. There's nothing weird or unusual about it. It just has a somewhat different tasting broth. And the broth is actually really tasty and flavorful. So this is one where I think whether you're a more dedicated instant noodle person like myself, or you're a more casual person who, maybe just uses it for a lunch every now and again, this is something that actually is really nice, and it's a much better alternative to, again, something like your Maruchan, your cup noodles, which are fine, but not really doing that much for you, realistically. This actually has a little bit of depth. It has a little bit of character to it. So, 5 things before I get out of here. Have yourself a great rest of your day, spectacular rest of your week, monumental rest of month, stupendous rest of your year. Folks, go over there and have yourselves a truly Tom Young-tastic rest of your life. Because, like I said, Tom Young's really good. Even if it's, in my opinion, not quite as good as Tom Cod. I need some Tom Cod. It's been too long since I've had it now. Final 2 things. Number 1, try to bring some positivity into the world. It's not always possible. It is, however, always appreciated. But what you do if you can't do it all the time, I know I can't do it all the time. Here's what you're going to do, folks. You're going to try not to be an asshole. Now, folks, not always the easiest thing in the world to not be an asshole. Trust me. I know it. I live it. I'm out there every day with you in it. Life can be stressful and frustrating and just bullshit sometimes, folks. And when we find ourselves in situations where we have to deal with said bullshit, it's important we go over there whenever possible. Take a step back. Try to mitigate the level of assholishness in our lives. Hopefully, do better for ourselves and for those around us. Very final thing, folks, do the thing. Whatever the thing is for you, that's what I want you to go out and do. Folks, have you ever tried Thai food before? And if you have, do you have a favorite dish? Do you like it? Do you not like it? You ever had Tom Yum soup? Like I said, for me, I already knew what it was because of the movie Tom Yum-goong from Tony Jaa. And I love that movie. It's like genuinely one of my favorite films. So when I first got the opportunity to try Tom Yum soup for the first time, I was like, yes! And then thankfully it turned out to actually be really tasty. So, but let me know your experiences. I'd like to hear about it. Anyway,